Guess what I binged on last night? Besides them damn potato chips. I love me some damn potato chips, man. Damn, that's my Achilles heel. Oh, I binged on some potato chips last night. But I woke up actually a pound lighter than I was yesterday. Shit, it worked out. What's good? Hey, besides the potato chips, man, I binged on Ortiz. Everybody wants this full official breakdown of Ortiz and Luben. Right now, that's the hottest fight right now on the horizon. You know, if y'all don't know who I am, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the rest. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to it, man. Look. Last night, man, I deep dived in both these guys' styles. I don't know why S's and R's too hard for me. I can't even say Ramirez. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I broke down both these guys' styles, man, and you know, took a deep dive in some of their fights. Anyways, let's get to it, man. Look, comes to my recollection of a guy like Luben. You know, I didn't know he was that damn good. I went back, I watched some of his old stuff, watched some of his new. Luben is a bad boy. Oh my gosh, he a bad man, for real. He can box his ass off. You know, I would consider him nocturnal. Yeah, he nocturnal. You know what I mean? Like, and what I mean by that is that he's hard to see coming. Yeah, that's what it is. He's disguised amongst the 154-pound division because in his greatest moments, he didn't rise to the occasion, man. He didn't. But he got the skill and an ability, and I see he has the mindset and the mentality to rise. He does. You know, look. You know how, like, when you go outside to throw some trash away, you know what I'm saying, in the trash bin, and you look like this, and you see something that look like a cat, and you like, is that a cat? What is that, a cat? You open up the bin, drop the trash in there, and then you realize, oh damn, that's a raccoon. Ooh, man, look, that's Luben. That's Luben. You don't know until you get up in the ring with him how good this guy is, man. You see him on film, you know, he looks all right, you know, got a ton of skill, you know, to the smart eye. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a smart eye. But this dude can do so much. He's one of those guys that knows how to slow down the pace of a fight. Okay? He can deal with pressure, right? I've seen him against numerous, you know, guys that try to pressure him and kind of raise the tempo on him. And he's calm under pressure. You know, he makes really good decisions under pressure. He doesn't break under pressure, right? He doesn't fold. You know, good jab, got a 74 or 74.5-inch reach, you know, so he got length on him, you know. Got some good legs, got a nice step back game, got some slip counters as well. You know, good straight left hand, great straight left hand, got a nice check hook, also goes to the body on the inside. You know, I will say this, he sometimes, you know, finds himself along the ropes. He's comfortable being on the ropes. I think that's going to be a problem against Ortiz, right? He has to keep his back off the ropes and keep himself in the center of the ring. You know, that's going to better his chances. You know, he's going to have to maintain his distance also. You know, Ortiz, on the other hand, if you didn't know, I kind of want to call him a pocket rocket, but at the same time, he more like a double bladed hedge trimmer. You know, I did some yard work yesterday. I used them trimmers to trim them trees. You know, he's straight to the point, accurate. You know, very consistent through and through. You know, I didn't know the boy was intelligent. You know, I thought he was in there, you know, throwing and rushing and throwing punches. No, he keeps a high pace. Ortiz keeps a high revving pace, right? Constantly having his opposition staying close enough, just far enough outside of distance, right, to get hit with shots, And he got the one of the coldest, quickest first steps, right? In boxing. T.O. got a quick first step. You know, Inoue got a quick ass first step. So does Virgil Ortiz. You know, from that outside range to inside to mid range, man, it's automatic. It's quick, right? And a lot of fighters have a hard time reacting to it because he just doesn't step in. You know, he steps in with offense. And he uses his jab. And I understand that this is a southpaw versus an orthodox battle. So it's a little bit more difficult for him to really land and establish his jab. However, I noticed something. That, you know, he'll play the little game and try to knock your hand down if you want to use that lead hand, jousting, or that probe. He'll try to knock it down and, you know, he'll try to get away, you know, move it out of the way and stuff. He's a smart fighter, man, Ortiz. But I noticed that he carries his hands higher than his opposition. And so what does that mean? Damn, Tim, what does that mean? That means he leaves his body. Oh, yeah, it does. But there's a reason why he does it, right? He not only just uses the high guard, he'll use subtle slot changes, pre-slips to set up offense and avoid shots from coming. So he do got a defensive game with that high guard. He does. He moves his head. Something that Canelo used to do was move his head, you know, move his head. He stopped doing that. He just started doing this. And that's when it became a real big problem for him. But Ortiz, he moves his head side to side, man. And he makes himself a difficult target to be able to track. 1, 2, them raised hands. So if you're fighting guys that like to fight and either try to come underneath with shots, you know, we call them like up jabs or whatnot. He's on top of you. So you always hear in boxing, you always hear me say the highest man to win, right? The highest man win, right? So if your hand is dropped here and you shoot a shot, guess what? Something could come over the top. Yes, absolutely. So his hands are raised higher because when guys are throwing punches at him, he's able to come right over the top with his shots, you know, quick shots. And one thing that's underrated about Ortiz's game is his quickness, man. His quickness and his hand speed. That makes up a lot of his freaking offense, man, because what that quick first step and that hand speed, right, and having the advantage of having his hands on top of yours, he's straight down the middle, man, on the target. He gets to the target a lot quicker. You know, he don't waste time, you know, drop with his hands drop down here and then taking time to lift it up and then punch with it. No, you know, you have guys that have learned like Manny Pacquiao that can punch from these positions, you know, but he likes his hands up. Ortiz likes his hands high, moving his head side to side, closing distance, quick first step, boom, with the jab, with the quickness with the jab as well, or even with combinations, you know. I also recognize that Ortiz, he has good eyes. So he's great at tracking the head. He's great at timing. He's great at tracking openings, right? He's great at, you know, anticipating shots. I didn't really realize how good this dude was. But Ortiz is damn good, man. Yeah, Ortiz is damn good. He's a smart fighter. But I think the biggest part of his game is just like them double edges, man. Those trimmers, those double edge trimmers, head trimmers. Just like that, man, is that he's consistent. You know, not a whole lot of drop off. So that energy in the first round will match the energy in the 8th round. You know what I mean? Where most guys start to fade and go down the hill, this guy is sustaining, you know, at this level. And a lot of guys can't sustain that high pace and have to answer all these questions, meaning the questions being punches thrown by Ortiz, that relentlessness by Ortiz. That's why Ortiz 9 times out of 10 start to break these guys down. He breaks them down physically, hitting them to the body. He breaks them down mentally as well. And he makes them basically burn, you know what I'm saying, the candle on both ends, you know, because he's pressing you. He's hitting you at the same time. He's physical on the inside. He's constantly not allowing you to breathe, to give you space. And he ends up drowning you. You know, he ends up catching you, you know, hurting you. He's more of an accumulative type of puncher. You know, he'll hit you in the same spot over and over and over, and he'll hit you enough to where he'll make you surrender. You know, you start to give up. You stop believing. You know, but anyways, I gotta go with Ortiz in this fight, man, because of everything that I just mentioned. You know, I feel like Luben's gonna have to, although he knows how to slow down the pace, I don't think Luben has seen something just like this. I understand he's been in the ring with Fundora. Fundora goes about his business a different way, you know. But Ortiz, to me, man, is a juggernaut, man. You know, he comes at a frantic pace. He makes great decisions as he's doing it. He's making you pay for your mistakes, and he's forcing mistakes. And he has good enough defense, right, to be able to avoid the big shots. Yeah. Telling you, man. This going to be a good-ass fight, though, man. I ain't going to lie, man. Luben is very crafty. Luben has heart, you know. But I got to go with Virgil Ortiz, man. He might even stop Luben. Anyways, that's my time, and I'm out.